So, usually have some banter back and forth, but I'm riding solo this afternoon, and it's a little bit weird, a little bit strange. Normally, I would just hit up a conversation with my good old buddy Ryan, but once again, he is gone, and unfortunately, he's gone because we get to celebrate the Mariners winning the ALDS. What an incredible game last night. It was 15 inning game, went on for 5 hours. It was a long evening, a lot of butt puckering, but in the end, the Mariners won. This is the first time in 24, 25 years that they've made it to the ALCS. It's going to be a challenge, but it's good vibes. It was an incredible game. Great atmosphere for the crowd, and it was a fun thing. So I'm super excited for the Mariners. This is going to be a fun, stressful next week for the team, I'm sure. But playoffs, baby, this is what it's all about. And I'm RT Red, and welcome to the show.
Bourbon. Belts. Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
This is the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon Belts and Blockbusters, and I am going to go into the bourbon cocktail of the week. Normally, this would have been a Ryan week where he uses the bourbon he cashed in with last week and makes a cocktail, and we would sip over it, but he is gone for the weekend, so I got to choose the cocktail with his bourbon, and I went with what's called a Stone Fence, or what most people call it is a cider bomb. And so 2 ingredients, very simple. 2 ounces bourbon. We utilized the Baker's Kentucky Straight Whiskey Bourbon. And then I used a hard cider, 5 ounces of that to top it off. Let's get right into it. It's a great fall drink. It's starting to chill out there. The leaves are changing. And this drink with the cider goes perfectly great. You know, the bourbon pops right through, but you get that cider taste with it. I went with the apple pie hard cider, and it is really good. For the season, for the blend of the two, I'm going to give this a 8.5. I'm going to go pretty high. Like I said, we've been on a big run with some great cocktails. This doesn't quite hit a 10 for me. It doesn't peak into that 9s. Do I enjoy this? Am I going to drink on this easily throughout the episode? For sure. But yeah, no, I think 8.5 is good. Highly recommend this. Very simple cocktail. Just two ingredients, and you can check that out on our socials. Going over to the bourbon talking points of the week, we got Hawk Talk. We had a Seahawks game last Sunday against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and boy, what a game was it. Unfortunately, the Seahawks lost, but how can you lose with those 2 sets of jerseys? We talked about it on the previous episode. We got the throwbacks going on, and both the teams looked very fly. I love the combination of those 2 on the field, so that was really fun to watch. Unfortunately, again, like I said, we did lose to a last-second field goal, but really, it was our defense. You know, it really didn't come through. My first talking point is just what a shootout that was. Offense is looking really good with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold continues to be poised. He makes good decisions. He's not trying too much, but he does drive it downfield, and we got the receivers to do that. It's been a lot of fun, and that 4th down touchdown to Barner, what an incredible play. It didn't look like it was going anywhere. It was aggressive calling, and I loved it, and holy hell, what a highlight that was. Next talking point, what is with the Milrow 1 play a game thing? Yeah, it's so obvious what we're going to try to do when he's on the field. It looks like it's going to be a run every time. How is that going to surprise the defense at all? I don't understand that. So, you either got to get him on the field more and switch it up every once in a while, or whatnot. But one play a game, and this one led to a fumble, so it has not worked out. So either get him more involved in more plays like that, or just let's stop with the one off or switch it up to a pass, because the running play is not working with him right now. Our defense was non-existent. We had a lot of big names out of the game, and it really showed. I thought we would be a little better with just being at home with the crowd and everything, but it was, Baker Mayfield, I'm not going to take away anything from him, and the rookie receiver over there is a star. Those two are doing some great things over there, and the offense has been humming with them. So even if our defense was at full strength, I don't know if we could have held them down to any more. I knew it was going to come down to the fourth quarter. That was my one takeaway when we talked about that. Again, I thought our defense could have showed a little better, but again, a lot of big names were out. So my focus for our next game, we got the Jaguars up. Jaguars are no joke. They just beat the Chiefs. They're 4-1, and they're showing that they got all the tools to win out these games. So my one focus point is we're going to be down some defensive bodies again, some big names there. We need people to step up. We need Big Cat to step up and make his presence felt on the line. We need Ernest Jones to be that captain in the middle. We got to make some plays, and we can't just let them run wild on us, or else it's going to be another loss. It's going to be a tough game. I think the Seahawks can do it with their offense. Defense, we need some stars to rise in the absence of the bigger names that are out on the field. That brings me to belts. I'm going to talk on Raw and SmackDown. I'm still going to take it 4 points each. SmackDown kind of blurring the lines a little bit because it was a pretty good show, I would say, leading into a PLE. But let's get into Raw. So first thing I got up, AJ Styles and John Cena hype video. And I thought the way they do these video packages are so good. And I didn't realize that, Cena's last title before this year was winning it from AJ Styles at that Royal Rumble match. I don't know why I blanked that, but that was the last time he won the title before this year for the 16th time. And I don't know, this what AJ Styles has done on TV in the weeks prior, and then this hype video. I'm super pumped for this match. I know I said it before, but it's going to be a really good match with these two. I can't wait to see what kind of homage he's going to pay to next. I know he's paid a lot so far. I'm just hoping that this can live up to the hype, because these two are phenomenal in the ring, and I think it's well deserved to be one of the farewell tour matches for John Cena as well as AJ Styles. I got to talk about Becky versus Maxine. Holy shit, did Maxine show up for this? That was unexpected. She's just improved leaps and bounds, and she didn't try to do that worm thing. Thank God. This match was incredible. It had so many false finishes, and then top it off with Becky actually losing the match, albeit it was with some little controversy. It was a count out, which, in itself is just not the way you want to win a match. But it was a count out, and then Jessica Carr did a really fast count once Maxine got back into the ring. But this just goes to show you what good storytelling can do, because there's history between Becky and Jessica in the past few weeks. And then throughout this match where Becky was getting in her face, it was just like you're pushing the ref to their limit, and it came out at the end of this match. So it was all in all incredible. I got to give kudos to Maxine because holy shit, it was just I was like, no way, no way, no way. And then just that's like spin heel kick, almost getting the 3 count. I was just like, she got it, and the crowd did too. But it didn't happen. But again, Maxine wins this match with a count out. I know I was shocked. I think everyone was shocked just how well she showed out, and bravo. I hope to see some more things. I hope this gets her in line for an Intercontinental Women's shot because well deserved, and that was a fun match. Bravo to both competitors there and Jessica Carr, the referee. Again, this was a hard week to decide what the banger of the night was for me. So these ones were very neck and neck with each other. But next talking point, Bloodline Brewing business again. We're just seeing a little more depth to this story, and this week was just another fun week. We get Roman Reigns in the back with Jay and Jimmy. Roman is talking to Jay, telling him he needs to go out and take some spotlight away from CM Punk at the top of the hour. And this gets Jay hyped up. He gets off screen, and then Roman pulls Jimmy aside and was like, "What do you got against me?" Giving advice to Jay, and it was like one of those moments you're just like, "Ooh, what's going on?" And then we later on just get another interaction where Roman is just telling Jimmy he needs to get out of Jay's way, and I love everything about where this direction is going. Bloodline doesn't need to be stale. It can be refreshing, and this is further proof of that because what they're doing in these past few weeks with Roman and Jimmy has been great. You got to keep Roman in this, so hopefully he doesn't go on a hiatus here anytime soon. That's a lot to ask for that guy, but he got to keep involved with this storyline because I'm all aboard on whatever's going to go on with this. Bringing me to the banger of the night for Raw, it's got to go to Seth and that Paul Heyman segment in the back. Throughout the night and throughout the past few weeks, we are just getting a build up to this crown jewel match, champion versus champion, and it's Seth versus Cody. A lot of backstory with him. Cody's 3-0 against him. Seth helped him to win the title at WrestleMania 40 against Roman Reigns. It was all about bringing Roman Reigns down. And this hype video earlier in the night, it was talking about that allied, how they built a common interest to take down Roman Reigns. And then Seth felt betrayed when Cody eventually teamed up with Roman at SummerSlam. And it all makes sense. Again, I love when a villain can be telling us the truth and you can relate to it. And that's kind of what's happening here. I'm loving every moment of this. It's finally getting to Seth's head now, though, where he is 3-0 against Cody. And Cody is not afraid to throw that out about him. But then we get Seth going to the back, talking to Heyman. And he was very deliberate. He was asking him questions. And he asked him, what if he doesn't win? And Paul Heyman tried to dance around the question. And Seth did such a good job just, you going, Paul, answer the question. Answer it, yes or no. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Seth asks him again, what if I don't win? And Heyman was just masterful again. He didn't mince words. He basically said, you're going to lose the locker room. You've lost your vision. You're going to lose all credibility. And then Seth asked, what happens when it comes to Paul? Paul didn't really answer the question, but he did say, I will start to question if I made the right decision in choosing you over Roman Reigns. Just a cold line. It really builds up some stakes for this match at Crown Jewel, which I'm loving. There's not that same stakes for Steph versus Tiffany Stratton for theirs. It's going to be a good match, and I think that's how they're going to sell it. We got a full storyline going into this crown jewel match between Seth and Cody, and I'm eating up every moment of it. Like I said, you build the stakes in with Paul Heyman questioning things on this, and it's gonna be masterful. Going over to SmackDown side of things, what is the purpose of Tiffany and Stephanie teaming up versus Kiana James and Julia? Does it get Julia on the screen as our U.S. Women's Champion? Sure. But Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie are not going to lose this match. And if they are, it was going to be because they aren't going to get along because they got a match at Perth. And none of that happened. I don't even know why Kiana James is in this. She was pretty rough throughout this match. I don't think she's ready to be on screen. She was there to take the fall, obviously. We don't want Julia taking the loss, but you're still making Julia lose another match as the U.S. Women's Champion. She is not Chelsea Green where she can just eat these losses and pull off being okay. She can. Chelsea Green can. Julia can't. She has been a champion for over 100 days, only 2 title defenses, and it's just, I don't know. This is a blunder. I thought this would be a good chance to drive some wedge between Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vakir for their match at the PLE, but that didn't happen, and so now it just felt pointless to have this match on there. But nonetheless, Tiffany Stratton gets the win. We get a little cool face-off with the Crown Jewel Women's title up at the stage. That part was cool, but it really doesn't hype up this match for me very much. But again, it's going to be a good one. Next up, we got a returning Shinsuke Nakamura. We got Street Profits, both going back to their old music. And boy, what music can do for an entrance for both of these people. The entrance is everything, and I think it proves this point on both of these superstars. It was fun to have them back to their own music. Hopefully this means Nakamura is back to being a face. It's hard to tell because you're in Australia where a crowd is going to cheer for basically everyone. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, but it was great to see Nakamura versus Sami Zayn in that U.S. Open Challenge. Takes me back to the NXT TakeOver Dallas when Shinsuke first came over to WWE. That match was a classic. Did this one live up to that hype? No. Was it a good match? Yes. Did it end in DQ? Yup, you bet it. We'll get onto that later. But him getting back to his old self, I think, is a good thing. Let's see if we could keep that momentum going. And same thing with the Street Profits. It was great to hear their old music. Their last one wasn't bad, but it does not carry the same anthem like vibes with their one. So bravo to whoever made that decision. I alluded to it just a minute ago, but the MFTs make a presence. We got the returning Tama Tonga. We got Warpaint. They are looking like Gorillas of Destiny from New Japan. I'm all for this. This is the direction the MFTs need to go in. I like the Warpaint. We got a more serious Solo, and he made his presence felt during the U.S. Open Challenge, and then later on in that tag team championship match, which is really what I want to talk about. It was the face-off of the Wyatts and the MFTs, and holy shit, it didn't live up to the hype of Shield and Wyatts facing off when they first faced off back in the day, but this got the chills going on for me. I thought it was cool. Obviously missing in this was Uncle Howdy, which is strange that he was not in this segment, so hopefully everything's okay. But it was sorely missed in this. But Nikki Cross, she held her own and was facing off against Solo. So I really like what the direction is with these guys. I hope it continues. I'm really excited to see what is next for the MFTs, what's next for the Wyatt Six. Hopefully, we get a 4-on-4 match there. We could get even 5-on-5 if you add Sami Zayn to the mix because they did attack them. So, curious to see how this all plays out. But, ooh, it's going to be a good one. And in SmackDown's Banger of the Night segment, Priest versus Black in the Last Man Standing match. Did I think this wasn't going to be that great of a match? I didn't. I thought this is just kind of what Priest does. He gets into a feud, he loses a couple times, rinse, repeat, ends up being in a street fight, in some kind of stipulation match, and then wins. I thought that's what we were going to get here, but we did not. This match was killer. That Meteora to Priest on the stairs was brutal. There was just some great spots throughout this match. Then you get to the finale of this match, and we get Zelina Vega coming out to her husband's defense, and we really haven't seen that on screen, and so I thought that was really cool. It gets Zelina back on screen. It gets her in with her husband, which I think is fun, and it kind of brings her into a heel side of things. She does make a great manager, but then she can go in the ring. It's just something new for her character, which I think is great, but just adds another side to Aleister Black and his presence. This match ends with a fireball to the face. I did see the handoff going on between Zelina, but I didn't know what was coming, and then the fireball happened. They've done this spot before, and it doesn't always come off great. They did a pretty good job here. And then you get the fade to black to Aleister, or to Damian Priest off the scaffold thing they were doing through a table. Priest loses this match, but holy hell, what a match this was. What a banger to close out the night for SmackDown before the PLE. The crowd who was right by there, I don't know if they were actors, if they were like placed there, or if they were legit fans, but they were selling everything out there. Their reactions to it all really sold the moment for me. I thought it was just a fun way to end SmackDown. Bravo. Easily banger of the night. And belts question of the week. I pose this to myself. So what can help the title picture right now that seems to be struggling? So last week, I posed that question to Ryan. What is something that you would like to change to better the product now? Because there's just been some rumblings that the company isn't doing so hot right now. It's a little boring, a little stale. And my answer for that was the title picture needs to be better. So my follow-up question to that is, what can help the title picture be better? And what really I think needs to happen is, like I said last week, it needs more of a presence on TV. It needs to be defended more. It doesn't need to be to the extent of NXT, but NXT does a really good job of defending a title like pretty much once a week. Whether it's the heavyweight title, women's heavyweight title, you name it, it's getting defended on the show once a week, every other week, basically. It's on there, it's talked about, people are interacting. I know you got 2 shows, you got more championships, you got more superstars, but just making them on TV more, I think will help with that. I know their approach right now is the absence makes the heart grow fonder, but for me, it's taking it away. So you also feel like you need to take away some of the long-term title holders. Like every title holder has been holding it for 100 plus days and very minimal defenses. So I'm not asking for every title to do this, but back in the day we would, do a hot potato with the title where it would change 3 times within 2 months. We can do that strategically and make it fun. at least with the mid-card titles, like let's get them going. The tag team titles, let's just get new faces holding some titles, or go back and forth, get some people to get some reigns. I think that's gonna help out the title picture. But again, it goes back to the presence, having to defend it, and I think just changing the approach. If you are gonna do a long-term champion, you gotta defend it regularly through that, and you have to have some good storylines. The Cody Rhodes holding it, I know he lost it to John Cena, but him holding it basically this past year, at least you got the seedlings of a Randy Orton turn going on throughout that. But what's been lacking is just the big stories in between going into that. So that is how I think the title picture could get a little better. Let me know what you guys think could help out the title picture. That brings me over to Blockbusters. We got focus features coming up next. Ryan did contribute one, so I get to talk on this. So his was Playdate. Synopsis: Brian agrees to a playdate with a stay-at-home dad, Jeff, and their 2 sons. While he's expecting a casual afternoon, Brian is instead thrust into a chaotic scramble to stay alive as they are pursued by a ruthless team of mercenaries. Brian stumbles through one ridiculous obstacle after another, his zero tactical skills a stark contrast to Jeff's oddly prepared demeanor. Director Luke Greenfield hilariously collides suburban dad life with high-stakes thrills, transforming an ordinary afternoon into an absurd action-packed adventure where minivan mayhem meets professional hitmen. Cast is Kevin James, Alan Richardson, Alan Tudyk, Sarah Chalk, and Isla Fisher. The release date for this is November 12th of this year, and it's going to be on Prime Video. The trailer looks hilarious for this. This looks like that Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz movie that came out on Netflix at the beginning of the year. Just that's where the minivan kind of comes into play. They were like spies, previous spies, and so it kind of reminded me of that. But then you get, Paul Blart and Reacher teaming up in this, and it looks like it's going to be a fun one. I think Kevin James wants to do more action, what it seems like. We watched Guns Up. It was a little more serious action movie, and he gets to continue that action, but also in a comedy form. And I think this is right up his alley. Teaming up with Alan Richardson, I think that's a perfect combo. This gets his comedy chops going as well. I'm really excited for this one. This looks like it's gonna be a fun ride, and I can't wait for November 12th to watch this. My focus feature for this is Mercy. Synopsis is: in the near future, a detective stands on trial accused of murdering his wife. He has 90 minutes to prove his innocence to the advanced AI judge he once championed before it determines his fate. Cast is Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson. Release date for this is January 23rd of 2026, and it's going to be out in the theaters. Why I put this is I love Rebecca Ferguson. Chris Pratt is great. And it's got a really cool concept, kind of throwing me back to Minority Report, but not. And it just, I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a fun one. The premise is he's sitting in a chair, locked up, and he has to prove his innocence within an hour and a half. And he gets to use all these AI tools and video and everything, but it's basically just solving the murder of his girlfriend or wife in it. I don't recall. Really cool premise. I'm excited for that. Again, it reminds me of Minority Report, Little Source Code. Both great movies, so if you haven't checked those out, please do. This one's going to be a fun one. You can't go wrong with Rebecca Ferguson, so super excited for that. What's in the news? Well, we got some news for you this week. We got quite a bit of news. So first off, Minecraft 2 got a launch date of July 23rd, 2027. WB counteracting The Simpsons 2 by much here. last week we talked about The Simpsons 2, and I believe it was like the 28th or something that The Simpsons 2 was coming out of 2027. Minecraft 2, I'm assuming Jack Black and Jason Momoa and whatnot are returning to this. Again, watched the first one earlier this year and absolutely loved it. I'm super excited for this one. This should be a super fun one. I think that's one of the funnest movies of the year. So, super excited for Minecraft 2. We got more Pluribus teasers this past week. It's quickly approaching. November 7th is the release date for this. And again, the promotion for this show has been incredible. I am so pumped for this show because I know so little, and these teasers keep giving less and less. Like, I'm absolutely loving the promotion for this. The latest one was a TV talking to her, asking what we can do. You get little splices of "join us" going on throughout the teaser, and I don't know. It got such a great atmosphere with the quick little bits of it that we get to see. The hype for this, I think, is legit. We got the official trailer for Die My Love. This is a follow-up. The reminder, this is coming out November 7th of this year. And boy, did the trailer it's chilling. It's thrilling. It got you on the edge of your seat. You got a lot of questions by the end of it. It does so much, but so little in it. And just seeing J-Law go into madness throughout the trailer, it's everything. I'm so pumped for this. This is gonna be one of those, I believe, uncomfortable watches. I don't know, but that's what I get the vibes of. It's gonna be a thrilling one, and I can't wait. We get the first official teaser trailer for Wonder Man, next MCU project. It's coming out, I believe, late this year or early next year. It's a show on Disney Plus, and this trailer is very meta. It's showing the old Wonder Man. It's a movie, and that they're casting for the next one, and we get Ben Kingsley's character back in there, the fake Mandarin. It did very little, but a lot all at once, and then you get Wonder Man at the end of the trailer, watching this promo for it. It looks like it's going to be a cool project. I'm here for anything Marvel, so I'm just excited for the next step of building closer and closer to Doomsday. And lastly, we got the go is on for Ocean's 14. George Clooney confirmed it with Variety that there's a good chance that this film starts filming next year. These are fun heist movies. I've loved the Ocean's 11 through 13 and Ocean's 8 movies. So hearing about this, Ocean's 14, really pumped for it. It sounds like the original cast is all coming back for this. So really excited for this one. This should be a fun one. I can't wait to hear some more news on this. Special segment of the week, we got Toasted or Trash. I normally would love to do this with Ryan because we pick movies for each other and then have to decide whether they liked it or did not like it, whether they thought it was toasted or trash. I still made Ryan pick me a movie, and he gave me myself, and Irene. This movie came out in 2000. It had Jim Carrey, Renee Zellweger, Anthony Anderson, along with a slew of well-known actors in this one. Fun fact, this movie came out the same year that How the Grinch Stole Christmas, another Jim Carrey movie. So you can see these were on two ends of the spectrum, those two movies. Kind of wild that those both came out in the same year. I did not know that. I did see this movie before, but it has been right around 2000, 2002 when I last saw this. So 23 years. And funny enough, I don't recall the plot line of this movie at all. Do I remember the bits and parts from it? Absolutely. But I don't remember this being a scene where they're running from corrupt police at all. So that was kind of wild. So this felt like a first time watch again, although I have seen it numerous of times. It's just one of those things where you kind of go back and go, oh, that's what that meant, and maybe I didn't quite understand that. I had a lot of those moments when watching this movie, so it was a fun watch. I definitely think Ryan thought it was toasted. I thought it was toasted. It's just they don't make movies like this anymore. I think Jim Carrey is a masterclass in this. I think at the time, if you watched, like, I don't know, for me at the time, I think it was just like a little off because I saw him in Liar Liar, probably saw The Grinch Stole Christmas before this, and so it's just you get one side of Jim Carrey and then you get this side, but that's what he's known for, is just taking on these wild characters, and this one was wild, in fact. And I have to give Jim Carrey a lot of props for specifically one scene where it's Charlie and Hank fighting with themselves. Hank is the split personality that Charlie has, that he held deep down inside, and just the scene where the car comes up and he's fighting himself, the way Jim Carrey like sells it is incredible. I thought what James McAvoy did in Split was incredible. Just to pull off the scene, it looks like it's like it looks like he's fighting someone in a green screen suit or something, because that's how well he's selling every part of it. It was incredible. I thought that scene was great. I had a lot of laughs throughout this. Again, I thought this was toasted. It was a fun one to watch again because it felt like a first time. So, highly recommend it. It is lewd. I don't think this movie gets made nowadays. Maybe now because it seems to be like they're starting to get a little more comfortable making them, but I don't know. I just feel like this is one of those movies that definitely wouldn't get made today. And that brings us to our last segment of the show, Blockbusters Question of the Week. Spooky season is here. What about horror movies do you like so much? What makes a movie scary? Well, what do I like about horror movies so much? It is my favorite genre. I like to feel uneasy, to feel scared. I like getting put out of my comfortable zone while watching a movie where I'm kind of looking through the fingers or just kind of wincing. I like that feeling, and that's what the horror movies do for me. I just get lost in the world. If the movie is done right, I just get lost into the world of horror and just feel like I'm right there with them. And some movies can make it feel realistic, where you're just like, oh my God, is there strangers outside my house? Is there a ghost face out there, or even the paranormal side of things, you're walking through a dark house alone and you're just like hearing noises. It's fun to get lost into those, and I think horror does a really good job of just immersing you around into that world, and that's what I like about it so much. What about a movie makes it scary? You name it. I think if it can just make you feel uncomfortable, if it has a realness to it, if it just can suspend your disbelief in any kind of way, I think it's done its job. If you start thinking, could this happen to me, or good Lord, where did they get this idea? I think that makes it scary. Specifically, like The Strangers. I know I've talked about that, but that can happen in real life. So just having those things, those creepy things, and making them believable, I think makes it scary. And so, again, that's what I like about it. I like getting lost into that and feeling uneasy and uncomfortable, and that's what these horror movies do. I love this time of the year, and again, spooky season is all year long, so don't feel like you have to leave it to just Spooktober. All right, guys, that wraps up episode 71. Cheers. Thank you for tuning in to the Triple B podcast.
Let's fucking go.